From ABC News, this is a special edition of World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening on this Sunday night, and we begin tonight with the investigation as the nation struggles to make sense of the horrific turn in this race for president. We have it all covered for you, beginning with ABC's Rachel Scott, who was at the rally when the gunfire began. She's in Butler, Pennsylvania, again tonight.
Tonight, the FBI trying to make sense of how this could happen. It was roughly 8.5 minutes after Trump took the stage.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
You can hear several pops and see the former president grabbing his ear, ducking for cover behind the podium. Moments before, some in the audience spotting the gunman. This extraordinary image captured by New York Times photographer Doug Mills, appearing to show the path of a bullet as it whizzed by the former president. His life saved, perhaps by a simple turn of his head.
Tonight, from the air, Beaumont and Port Arthur, Texas, the hardest hit by Harvey, besieged by water. The sky swarming with helicopters. It's the only way in. The U.S. Coast Guard hammering through a roof to get families out. Some 200 patients on stretchers evacuated by helicopter at Baptist Beaumont Hospital after the local water supply failed. Teams evacuating the most critical patients, lifting entire beds into boats. This morning, we teamed up with the U.S. Navy aboard a Navy search and rescue chopper as we survey the water world below. Then an urgent call. A nearby dam is about to overflow. We touched down at Pine Forest Elementary, just a few towns over from Beaumont. The first thing we see, people weeping, hands clutched over mouths.
Apparently there are a lot of people in this school. We're still unclear what's going on. All of them have stranded, congregating here because this is one of the few dry areas around here. There's basically nowhere for them to go but up.
The variety of life on Earth will startle you. Just keep your eyes and mind wide open.
I'm Margaret Brennan, and this is Face the Nation. A year after Charlottesville, what is the state of race relations in America? This year, Virginia officials are taking no chances and have declared a state of emergency.
Why are you doing riot gear?
In an attempt to head off a repeat of last year, when violence sparked by rallies led by so-called alt-right groups killed one counter-protester, Heather Heyer, and led to the deaths of 2 state troopers.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
But those remarks and the images of white nationalists carrying torches on the lawn at the University of Virginia won't easily be forgotten. Today, we'll take a look at the divisions in America and how the state of race relations are impacting us as a country. We traveled to Richmond late last week and talked with Virginia Democrat Senator Tim Kaine at the city's Black History and Cultural Center of Virginia about race and how Virginia and the country are recovering 1 year after Charlottesville.
You have said that Virginia has a lot of scar tissue when it comes to race, but it feels on many of these issues that it's very much an open wound. What has actually changed since Charlottesville?
I think what's changed is Charlottesville was shocking. It was shocking that, a local guy like a Jason Kessler would call this Unite the Right rally, and it was shocking that people from out of state would come in and
he was a UVA grad.
He's a local guy, but most of the people arrested for violence that day were out-of-staters who came in to bring their hatred and bigotry, and that was shocking.
Many thought legalization would be the end of scenes like this.
This is the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Exit the building and walk towards the large green vehicle.
Legal marijuana is growing in the U.S.
Marijuana on the market has become a legitimate billion-dollar business.
President Joe Biden pardoning those with prior federal convictions of simple marijuana possession.
It's already legal in many states.
Come out with your hands empty and above your head.
But as states continue to legalize recreational cannabis, a growing chorus of officials warn that for some, America's freedom to smoke may be coming at the cost of actual personal freedoms for some farm workers.
Con la pistola en mano nos dijo, nadie sale de aquí.
Afghanistan has become one of the most dangerous spots on Earth. The weapon of choice there increasingly is the IED.
After 10 years of war, IEDs are now the #1 killer of American troops. Now, Navy EOD Platoon 342 is embarking on a deadly 5-month mission to find the bombs.
We're on top of an IED right now.
Yeah, we are. Before the bombs find them.
We're ready to go. We are? Okay, go.
I am in the back seat of that F-15 fighter jet with the afterburners creating thrust that can rocket us up to 20,000 feet in just over a minute. It is a deadly serious combat mission. We see the aircraft power toward the tree line and spray it with bullets. An eruption of dust can be seen on the screen. Again, 20-millimeter bullets pound into the tree line. The jet is armed with more than 500 rounds. The enemy fire stops. The French controller requests our jets continue to scan for possible squirters.
An unlikely reunion for these two men, Congressman John Lewis and Elwyn Wilson. They didn't even know the other's identity. They met, if you can call it that, 48 years ago. In very different times, in a blur of angry fists and proud protest. Lewis, then a freedom rider for Dr. King, arrived at the Rock Hill, South Carolina bus depot May 9, 1961, and was pummeled by Wilson, who for years has been working his way toward this moment.
I'm sorry for what happened down there.
Well, it's okay. It's all right. It's almost 48 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah. So you remember that day well?
I try to get it out of my mind.
Infamy lingers 50 miles east of Atlanta, where this lonely country road leads to the Moores Ford Bridge. Civil rights activist Tyrone Brooks showed us where the 4 lynching victims are buried. George Dorsey, a World War II veteran, and his wife May, and Roger and Dorothy Malcolm.
The Klan had blocked the road, so they saw these Klansmen. These Klansmen were unmasked. They were showing their faces. They weren't hiding. They opened the doors, they drugged the women out, and one of the women said, "Oh, we know Mr. So-and-so. Oh, we got to kill all of them now."
Georgia's governor at the time said 15 to 20 of the mob members are known by name, but a grand jury indicted no one.
They sealed the grand jury files.
Why is that?
They were elected officials, they were law enforcement, they were developers, they were major farmers, and everybody knew their names.
Critics believe those names are hiding inside sealed grand jury transcripts. The Department of Justice opposes opening them, arguing grand jury proceedings should remain secret.
Tell me what you're trying to hide.
Attorney Joe Bell is fighting to open the records.
What is in those records that would complete the story of this assassination of 4 African Americans on that day?
Here's why it matters to Brooks.
I want them exposed. I want the truth to be known.
Without the truth, there's no healing.
It's very difficult. There's always room for forgiveness. There's room for reconciliation and healing. Help us get there.
73 years later, the only justice possible may be the truth. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Walton County, Georgia.
You know, Margaret, I think it's fair to say that George Herbert Walker Bush did nearly everything you can do in life and in politics in his 94 years. As a Navy pilot, he was shot down in combat during World War II. He founded a successful business, had 6 kids, was a congressman, ambassador to the UN, head of the CIA, and our first envoy to China. And in 1980, he was ready to go for the big prize, the presidency.
When it comes to loving me, don't stop.
For John Baptiste, even new songs are based on an old story.
Let's keep it shaking while we can.
And as one of the youngest members of a legendary New Orleans musical family, for much of that story looked like this. A raucous party spilling out into the streets, set to the soundtrack of his hometown.
There's a gift that was put in us to give to the world and has healed and uplifted people and brought people together. And that's what I'm about. So much changed in my life. I had the great fortune of meeting the Stephen Colbert.
Welcome, John Baptiste. That 2014 meeting on Stephen Colbert's Comedy Central show.
How are you? Oh, I'm doing great to have you here, man. Great.
Led to a new partnership on The Late Show. And a new platform for Baptiste's music and message.
Cameras aren't even in focus yet.
Playoff before the playoff.
Why don't you try to beat them?
Get rid of Jason Garrett. If you fire him, who's the interim coach?
I would not want to face that quarterback throwing into my end zone.
Yeah, we never have to pay anyone. We'll still win.
This is not 84 with Chuck Daly trying to physically eliminate Michael Jordan. I want everybody who did this really takes a moment.
He was winning games.
What? That wasn't a great loss. That was the greatest loss of all time.
David Fizdale had no chance.
He thinks he'd like to make a run at it this season. If I'm a Packers fan, I hear that and I'm happy.
You should be able to review it, touchdown or not. That was close enough to the goal line.
There goes the muffin.
And I don't think we should overlook how difficult it is to do a dance with one of your coworkers.
How, why, and what if? Conspiracy theories on conspiracy theories. Marshawn thinking unretirement. And if tonight starts the comeback or the summer of devastation. Wow, you look sad. And trying to catch a foul ball with the hand that has the beer in it. This is what happens.
It's the first word.
All right. Hey. You know where you are? You're in an ice storm, baby. He's tired, he's frustrated, he's done being the pariah, he's afraid of trials. He called himself Voldemort because you people won't say his name. That's not even the biggest problem the Phillies have. Linda Ronstadt. Spandau Ballet. That's the biggest problem, according to Ryan Sandberg. He was irked by the Nats' choice of music for Phillies batting practice this past week. You're looking at some of the songs.
Thank you, sir.
All right, see you later. Thanks. He watches the desk for me. It's better than waiting in line. Let's go this way. Today. I like going this way. No lines. The man I've been waiting to see. Yes, sir. All right. How you doing? Good. I knew it was you all along. Bobby! What is this? Yeah, all right. Come on, guys. See, look at this. When Kornheiser sees this, that'll be the end of me. James, how's it going? This is for you. Okay. Yeah. Make that happen. Thanks. I like that stuff, yeah. All right, thank you, Casey. Thank you very much. Hey, Sean. Oh, still with the Red Sox, huh? Nation. You're drinking and playing video games while the show's going on? All right, yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. What's this?
From Mr. Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. All right. All right, yeah, how about that?
This department budget.
Magnets!
Coming up on my sweet wedding. 10 months ago, my boyfriend of 7 years, Ben, proposed to me. And it was one of the happiest days of my life. Growing up, no one tells you all the work that goes into planning your wedding.
This is gonna give you nightmares.
Now mine is 3 months away, and there is so much to do.
Are you guys kidding me? I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. Why don't you just relax?
There's a lot on Sophie's plate as my matron of honor.
It's gonna be 10 tiers and 10 feet. So making this giant teapot. I need one more frosting. I just need more time.
You know where Sophie is?
Yes, they're coming!
I hope it all comes together in the
I
end.
can't do everything myself.
It doesn't fit. And we can pull off my sweet wedding.
Oh my God.
For your time, for a moment you were mine.
I drove up to my mother's house one day, and there was a car in front of my mother's house, and it had a bumper sticker that said something about Jack Kevorkian. It said, "Had enough, call Jack."
I think Kevorkian was sort of a societal phenomenon.
Twice now, Dr. Jack Kevorkian used his
more widespread public.
One poll taken about 1994 showed that with the single exception of the President of the United States, more people knew who Jack Kevorkian was than any other figure, living or dead. Amazing.
For this fix, we're towering over Texas.
With a posse of rigging cowboys.
Wow.
To bring an aging TV antenna down to earth. Any slip could have deadly consequences.
Total chaos.
It's high adventure, way above city traffic.
We love you, San Antonio!
One wrong move, and this rodeo is over.
Hey!
I'm Sean Riley. I'm a professional rigger by trade. It's the stuff I'm passionate about. If it's big, broken, we're gonna fix it. On World's Toughest Fixes.
Go get one done. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Where?
Tonight, the Buffalo Bills' emotional return to the field in their first game since Damar Hamlin's near-fatal cardiac arrest.
Just wanted to come out and play free, play loose, play for him.
In the stands, a sea of his number 3. Coaches and players holding back tears, a pregame tribute thanking the medical team who saved Hamlin's life, and then on the opening kickoff, an unbelievable touchdown.
Down the sideline he goes. This is storybook. An opening kickoff return for Damar Hamlin, and this place is absolutely going wild.
You can't draw that one up, write that one up any better. And I was just told it's been 3 years and 3 months. Since the last kickoff return, so it's pretty cool.
To the right, point of view. We retreat to